Halloween season is here. Pumpkins on stoops, grinning jack-o'-lanterns watching menacingly in the dark, giant variety bags of candy, slasher movie marathons on like 6 different channels. The same 3 vaguely spooky movies played on a loop for 31 days straight, ignoring the vast array of actual Halloween specials created through the years. Speaking of Halloween specials, welcome to the first Treat or Terror, where for all of October there will be a new episode countdowning to Halloween proper. For this inaugural marathon, let's go back to the past, which is somehow still ongoing, with Treehouse of Horror. Hi, I'm Fox, any pronouns, and I'm not explaining what The Simpsons is. I will explain that Treehouse of Horror is a special that started in the 2nd season and continued for each season after, where things get spooky in Springfield. They're mainly non-canonical, often parodies, and a cute little diversion from the regular animated sitcom formula. In the early years, anyway. I'm sure most of you are aware of how The Simpsons is infamous for a decline in quality as the years have gone on. Honestly, I stopped watching as a teenager and never picked it back up, so I don't know. If these Treehouse of Horror episodes are anything to go by, however, ooh boy. Ooh boy. Let's start with the incredibly classic first 3 episodes. Treehouse of Horror starts off with Marge emerging from red curtains on a stage to warn people about the Halloween special. She says this line, which frankly deserves a place in the best Simpsons quotes lists everywhere.
Oh, kids worshiping ghosts, pretending to be devils?
This opening is so much fun. Both Marge and the trip through the graveyard. It sets the mood, it's delightful, and you can see the care the team put into this, and how much fun they were having. These 3 segments are all framed as scary stories Bart and Lisa are telling each other up in the treehouse, giving these specials their iconic name. The first, told by Bart, is possibly the most classic one, Bad Dream House. It's a parody of the Amityville Horror, with the Simpsons moving into an obviously haunted home that tries to get everyone to kill each other. I love Tiny Maggie with a tiny knife. They only don't kill each other because Marge's motherly admonishments knock them out of house possession. She also yells at the house to stop and says it's just going to have to accept that they live here now. The house asks them to step outside before imploding in on itself instead of living with them. This is such a solid start to the episode and series as a whole. It's funny, delightfully twisted, and still holds up over 3 decades later. Also, I love Marge's slippers. They're the rabbit guy from Matt Groening's Life in Hell series. It's a cute nod. The specials, and Bart's, second tale is Hungry the Damned. What a good title! This one is a parody of the infamous Twilight Zone episode To Serve Man, which I just learned was an adaptation of the same story published in the infamous magazine Galaxy Science Fiction by Damon Knight, the founder of the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America. 3 aliens come abduct the Simpsons, claiming to want to take them to their home and a great feast at Rigel 4. Fun fact, this is the first appearance of Kang and Kodos, who pop up every so often throughout the show. They also appear in every episode of Treehouse of Horror. Lisa is adamant they're trying to fatten them up to eat them, even though it seems that the aliens have shown nothing but hospitality. It doesn't assuage her fears when she finds a book called How to Cook Humans, which leads to this funny back and forth revealing the true title of the cookbook, How to Cook for 40 Humans. Offended that the Simpsons could think that they were trying to eat them, the aliens drop them back off in their backyard and fly off, leaving the Simpsons to blame Lisa. Marge gets some of the best lines this whole episode.
For a superior race, they really rub it in.
This one was also really good. The lighting was phenomenal. It's so great to see animators let loose to experiment around with colors and lighting, especially in an environment the characters usually aren't in. The final segment is Lisa's story, based on the infamous Edgar Allan Poe poem, The Raven. This might be my favorite for nostalgia alone. As a kid, I was obsessed with Poe, especially The Raven. The Simpsons version has always stuck with me through the years. Bart is the dickish raven, Lisa and Maggie as the seraphim. The small details that really bring it to life, like the smoke hands, the visual gag with Marge's hair, Homer's whole performance. It's just so good, and what a way to end the segments. Some sort of comparison could be made between the Raven never leaving and the Simpsons never leaving, overstaying their welcome and causing rage and despair. Reminding people of a show that once was, that refuses to die, though to many fans, it's just a walking husk of what it once was. This brings us to the end of the very first Treehouse of Horror. Well, technically the wrap-up brings us around to the end, and it is funny to see Homer terrified of the stories while the kids are all sleeping peacefully. Treehouse of Horror 2 starts similarly, with Marge on stage, though this time she's given up on anyone listening to her warnings. This treehouse wraparound is everyone eating too much candy and having nightmares. It's a cute idea. I love Bart's outfit and Marge's hair. Lisa's is culturally appropriative. The first is Lisa's nightmare, the monkey's paw. Another classic. Again, Marge has great lines.
Homer, there's something I don't like about that severed hand.
It's basically the monkey paw story where every wish causes bad things, but with the Simpsons. I love the meta of everyone being tired of the Simpsons selling out. It's also this year's appearance of Kodos and Kang. They invade once Lisa wishes for world peace. The final wish is Homer wanting a turkey sandwich, and we get the iconic
Turkey's a little dry. The turkey's a little dry
moment. Overall, this segment was fun. A solid watch. Next is Bart's Nightmare. Not that one. The Bart Zone. Another Twilight Zone parody, this time of It's a Good Life, where a young boy has psychic powers and controls the town. Bart is the psychic menace here, turning Snowball into a weird creature and turning Homer into a jack-in-the-box. Honestly, not a bad look for him. Inconvenient, though. The real nightmare aspect of this for Bart is him bonding with Homer. A good twist. I won't call this one a favorite, but it wasn't awful. It has fun moments, and at least it's quick. Finally, it's Homer's nightmare. If I only had a brain. In this one, Homer gets fired and becomes a gravedigger. When he falls asleep in an open grave, Burns and Smithers take him and remove his brain, putting it in a robot so they can create the ultimate worker. The robot acts like Homer, so basically the opposite of the ultimate worker. Through shenanigans, Homer gets his brain back, and Burns' head gets thrown into Homer's body. Then Homer wakes up, and Burns' head is still attached. This one was fun, and the best of this year's bunch. Not as many high points as the first Treehouse, but you can still see a lot of creativity here. The final episode we're talking about today is Treehouse of Horror 3. We start off strong with a Hitchcock reference with Homer talking to the audience instead of Marge. Then we get a quality couch gag with Simpson skeletons. 10 out of 10. This year's wraparound is a Halloween party where scary stories are told. First up is Clown Without Pity, which again is a great title. In this one, Homer needs a last-minute gift for Bart's birthday and goes to a store called House of Evil, where he gets an adorable Krusty doll. Of course, it tries to repeatedly kill him in the classic evil doll trope. Turns out his switch was flipped to the evil setting. Once that's flipped back to good, he's fine. Also Homer's servant. But at least he has a girlfriend. This one is a blast. I love evil dolls. I love how cute little Krusty is. And has this fantastic line.
There goes the last lingering thread of my heterosexuality.
Next is a story from Grandpa.
Grandpa, why don't you tell us a story? You've led an interesting life.
That's a lie, and you know it. But I have seen a lot of movies.
This one is a parody of King Kong called King Homer. You can guess what role he plays. I appreciate they did this in black and white. It looks so good. The laughs keep coming, too, especially from Burns. It ends with Marge marrying Homer like the monster fucker she truly is. The final segment is Dial Z for Zombies, told by Bart. In it, he finds an occult book full of spells. He performs one, intent on raising Snowball from the grave. Instead, a bunch of zombies get reanimated, as you do. They attack the Simpsons. Won't take Homer because he's lacking in nutrition, so they race to the library to find a way to reverse the zombification. In the end, however, they remain zombies to Cable. Such biting commentary. Wow! The different zombies are fun to see. Skinner's strange lip-licking is unsettling and over the top. I love it. I also love Lisa becoming a snail. This year was better than last year's. Still iconic, still a good watch 30-some years later. It makes me look forward to watching more. I can't wait for that feeling to fade. Join me tomorrow for another day of treat or terror. Thanks for joining my lucid screaming.